That's right, you read that title correct. I am no longer scared of you mother-loving, ugly head-ass witches. Let's go. Before we kick off this review, my name is Chris and thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it if you hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. This way you'll stay up to date with more fun reviews uploaded weekly. Almost forgot to mention, this crazy thing you see on my head is a hat from a Halloween party at my job. It's not the best looking kinds of hat, it's creepy. Not the best looking though, kind of like this movie, but let's get into it. Hocus Pocus 2 is the long-awaited sequel from the original Disney movie Hocus Pocus back in 1993. Well, I wouldn't say that this was long-awaited because I don't think I know of anyone that even asked or even thought of a sequel to this movie. So the question at hand is, was this movie, the sequel, necessary for pop culture? The sequel follows the original story, which is similar to our real-world timeline of its last release, which is about 30 years into the future. The story, unfortunately, is pretty much the same as the original, where these three witches, known as the Sanderson sisters, are brought back to life, but not on purpose, and instead of catching children's souls, they're trying to cast a very difficult spell that will make them the most powerful beings. They have to accomplish this by sunset, otherwise history will repeat itself again. For the third time. I lost count. This movie does have a side plot when it comes to this new character who's the mayor of the town, but I think they could have pushed his story a little bit further and done more with him. Whereas it kind of ends abruptly and it felt like a letdown, which was unfortunate because I actually did like the actor who played this character. I also love the three young characters at the very beginning sequence of this movie because I thought they really embodied the main characters. That whole part of the movie at the very beginning was very unexpected but refreshing because we never saw these side of these characters before. I did actually like the overall new cast in general because at first I was skeptical when I saw them in the trailer since I didn't recognize any of these new actors. Mainly the new girls, but I thought they did okay with the script they were given. An example would be the character development of the main actor, who's this young girl. She didn't really have much growth compared to the original main actor, Max. Whereas in the original movie, we knew so much about the main character within the first couple of minutes with how he was new to that school. Whereas the main drama here was between the girls and their unstable friendships. It's hard not to compare the two movies, but we kind of have to since it's a continuation of the story and a new cast. Both movies are not Oscar-worthy, obviously, but when it comes to performances, I thought the three main actresses that played the Sanderson sisters did better in the original movie compared to this movie. However, you could definitely argue that they had so many funny moments in this sequel. It just looked like they had so much fun and that they were in full character, like they never left. But I would say the reason they did better in the original movie was due to the story and the script. That original movie was way more dramatic and serious, especially for a 5-year-old like me at the time. I'm telling you, when I first saw that movie for the first time, it freaked me out as a kid. The movie has such great tone and pacing, but the witches just look so creepy. I remember that after that first watch, I never watched it again until years later. I mean, I remember that when it came on the TV and I was with all my cousins, I would just sneak away and go in the other room because I did not want to watch that movie. Listen, I was born 91, that movie came out in 93, you do the math, okay? Say I was around 5 years old. If I'm the only kid at that time that was freaked out by that movie, so be it. I'll rock that title, it's all right. But you know what? We got our redemption because this sequel, come on. Not scary at all. These new kids have it lucky and they don't even know it. Seriously, this new movie overall had a very funny tone and slow pacing for the whole movie. I mean, those witches are still ugly, don't get me wrong, but ugly ain't enough nowadays. If you pay attention to that original movie, you could definitely hear the impact of how great that musical score was. Music in a movie enhances the tone, making the feel of the movie overall either feel dramatic or funny, and that's the difference here between these two movies. And the visual effects in the sequel were far from impressive. Except I would give credit to Book. I did like how they made his eyeball more graphic, you know, when he's looking around all over the place. I thought that was pretty cool. The sequel is definitely more modernized to our new society with how we used our technology. Those were some of the funniest scenes when the witches got scared or confused over some of the simplest things we take for granted on a daily basis. And I love what they selected for their broomsticks compared to the original, but the original is funny too. Many people might not notice, but at the end of this movie, the sequel, there's actually an end credit scene. And I personally didn't really quite understand the meaning of that scene, although I think it's pretty much telling us there's gonna be a sequel to this sequel, which will make Hocus Pocus a trilogy. I mean, I think we're good on this one, all right? But I would not be surprised if they milk this franchise like they do with everything else. So to wrap everything up in this review, overall, I felt the story was boring and the ending was lame. However, the simple, good-hearted message about sisterhood will resonate with many viewers. This sequel was definitely not necessary for continuation of the original story, or even closure for the characters, besides one of them if you count him, but it was still a decent fun time bringing back the main actresses to play these iconic witches.
Lock up your children!
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to see more, just subscribe. If you want notifications for new uploads, hit that bell icon. Also, if you could share this video with your family and friends, I would greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, thank you again for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.